Good morning, students. Today we are going to cover our last topic of international marketing, that is MNCs. We have already covered this in our first unit, but here we are covered this with some more details. MNCs. What is MNCs? MNCs is one which extended the area of its operation beyond the country in which it is incorporated. It means you can say it's a headquarter that are located in one country and it carries its operation in its home country and also in number of foreign countries, which is known as a host countries. Okay, like Coca-Cola is a company which is registered in USA. Okay, but its production marketing facilities are in many countries in the world. Basically, MNC control production facilities in more than one country. Such facilities have been acquired through the process of direct foreign investments. Generally, these companies do the direct foreign investments, like equity investment they have. Maybe in the form of greenfield, maybe in the form of brownfield, they may invest it. And MNCs operate in many countries simultaneously, and production, their marketing facilities are acquired through डायरेक्ट फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट इन द होस्ट कंट्री, जहाँ वो है वहाँ की कंट्रीज में वो लोग डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं. ठीक है. एंड in this MNC, you can say the terms such as international corporations, multinational corporation, transactional corporation, or a global multinational. I think you remember these are the various types of MNCs, we can say, or how we are going to international that we have covered in our first unit. So these are so commonly used words, and it is necessary to understand there is some difference between these. Okay, a company with manufacturing operations, you can say, in at least one foreign country may be regarded as international corporation, and MNCs such as direct investments in other countries and are considerable share in a total business being in foreign countries, are called multinational companies. Multinational companies are usually organized around a national headquarters from which international control is exercised. They have a headquarters, and from there they control each and every subsidiaries of their. And in a transactional corporation, which is known as a TNC, is a multinational in which both ownership and control are dispersed internationally. आपकी कंट्रोल ओनरशिप जो है इंटरनेशनली फैली हुई होती है. ठीक है. एंड देयर इज़ नो प्रिंसिपल डोमिसाइल कि ये इसकी है या इस कंट्री की है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता उसमें. देयर इज़ नो प्रिंसिपल डोमिसाइल एंड नो वन सेंट्रल सोर्स ऑफ power. The power is decentralized in this. Like Unilever, you can say, Royal Dutch, and another form is a global corporation. In a global corporation is often used to mean more or less the same things as a transnational corporation. More or less they are similar. ठीक है. But according to some expert, we can say a global corporation is one which view the entire world. Remember, entire world as a single homogeneous market which should be catered by a global standardized product. Means everywhere you are giving a standardized product and you treat whole world as a single country. You are not differentiating it. Okay. Now, so I think you understand these concepts and the various types of MNCs. Now the features of MNCs, or you can say the characteristics of MNCs. Basically, MNCs have a huge size. ठीक है. The assets, their sales of MNCs run into billions of dollars, and they make supernormal profits also. And they operate internationally. MNCs operate in many countries throughout through their parent corporation in a home country, and it runs its operation through the network of branches, subsidiaries in the host countries. Generally, MNCs have headquarters in a home country through which they control or you can say control is exercised over a branches, subsidiaries, and all. And local management of branches and subsidiaries operate within that particular policy framework which given by the parent corporations. And sometimes they also enjoy a oligopolistic power because of merger takeover with other firms. And MNCs require, you can say, with all this, they require a huge economic power. And with this, their size is very large, and they become oligopolistic in their character. They dominate the position in the market. Then and it is such type of collective transfer of resources. In MNCs, we are not going to transfer only one resource. We are going to transfer, or you can say the transfer take place in various forms, like a package. That means it include technical know-how, it include machinery, it include equipments, raw material, management expertise, etc. So it is a collective transfer of resources. And by its characters you understand it international market. It operate in the international market as a, and it's because of this it has a vast resources, superior marketing skills, etc. And why we go for MNCs, what are the benefits? Basically, with the help of MNCs you can transfer the latest technology to the developed countries, or you can say developing countries, sorry, developing countries and all. They serve as an agent of transfer a superior technology. They provide advanced technology, know-how, improved skills, consultancy to the host countries. And it also provide or you can say it also help us to generate a foreign capital. They facilitate transfer of capital from countries where it is abundant to a country where it is scarce. And it also help in generating employment opportunities because it create a large scale of employment opportunities by setting up their branches, subsidiaries in the host countries. And it also promote host country to increase their export. And MNCs operate in more than one countries. It means they have a huge professionals management, and professional management employment of their very sophisticated management techniques and practices. And their MNCs help to build a knowledge base also. Thus it lead to development of human resource in the host countries. Then it also help in ancillary industries also. It support with their operations. MNC also encourage many domestic suppliers also. And it ultimately help in creating a healthy competitive environment. MNC help competition in the host countries, and it try to break the you can say the domestic monopoly. And it also encourage research and development, because if you want to fight with MNCs you need to do some R&D. And they also have a huge resources to do R&D, which ultimately helps the country. And MNCs also help in creating a huge revenue for the home countries also, in the form of license fee, royalty, dividend. And it also help in procuring a cheap raw material and labor from other countries. And it also widen the scope of exporting component, finished product, and you can utilize your available talent in other countries very wisely. So overall MNCs help in creating all such type of benefits to both host or a home country. But we have certain limitation or criticisms of MNCs also. Basically, MNCs disregard the national goals. National goals in the sense MNCs the role of MNCs in the underdeveloped country does not to serve the purpose as they require. Generally, they invest in the sector which create the benefit to them only. They are not investing in the sector which create jobs and help in developing economy, etc. So this create a problem of unemployment, poverty, to chronic problems in a developing economy, and there is a repetition of technology also. It is always alleged that the government permitted multiple collaborations, and that is a repetitive import of similar type of technology. And sometimes they have a restrictive clause also. Multinational have a great bargaining power, so they can force um, their collaborator in host country also to work according to their terms and conditions. So they are able to, you can say, they are able to introduce restrictive clause in their agreement, like technology cannot be passed to anyone else, pricing of the product, export from the host country, etc. And they have a, because of the foreign collaboration, and they help in a growth, so they are in a position to create a monopoly in the market. But because of their resources, because they have a big business houses, and also there is a chances of obsolete technology, and it will and there has been an adverse effect of technology diffusion by the MNCs on income, employment, growth of the host countries. And they also they also fail to develop the local skills, because MNCs establish their plants in a developing economy to exploit the cheap labor available there, and they increase the gap between the wages that prevailing in the home country and the host countries. And ultimately they, um, you can say, competition with the home industries also was there, because of MNCs, their big power, their huge resources, they advertise very well, and they capture a good market share which adversely impact the home country industries. And generally they have a consumer goods for the higher income groups. They are nothing, they don't have an or you can say they do not serve the poor people. They have generally like for example chocolate, soft drinks, synthetic food, toothpaste, TV, all all have no growth relevance. They are the important part of the budget in the higher income group only in the society. And sometimes they will create a threat to the nation's sovereignty also. MNCs generally politically motivated and have a tendency to interfere in the affair of the host countries, and persistently they influence the internal and external policies also. So it may create a threat. And because of MNCs also create, you can say, excessive remittance of the resources from the host countries. They take away more than they have invested in the countries, so it will create an adverse balance of payment problem also. And it also lead to depletion of our natural resources. Generally, transactional companies or corporation may cause a fast depletion of our non-renewable resources in the host countries. For making a profit, they work. They do not work for economic welfare in the country, and they have a lack of emphasis on R&D also. MSc could not have played a catalytic role in promoting research development in a developing economy. They perform in this context, you can say, in this context has been discouraging. Their investment in scientific research in a developing economy basically have been negligible. According to their asset, their turnover, it is not so much. So all these are the points which on which grounds we criticize MNCs also. So hope you understand the concept of MNCs very well. Now, this is your last lecture in your international marketing. In next lecture, I'm going to take a test of Unit 5. So be ready for that, students. And if you have any doubt or you need any study material related to international marketing, do contact me within a week. Okay, students? Thank you. And I advise you to kindly submit all your assignments if it is left within a 2 or 3 days. After that, I am not going to entertain that. Thank you, students, for the day.